Sup folders. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my MCU rankings. And yes, this is an update from a video I did a while back. Go check that out because you're going to see how different this list is from that one. And also, we have so many more movies and so many more TV shows that we didn't have before. I am going to rant a lot through this video, so I want to get this intro done. But if you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, comment down below what you agree with and what you disagree with, because I'm interested in hearing your guys' opinions. But also, I want to know if you guys want to see Marvel content on this channel in the future, or you'd rather see something else. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. You know, I was gonna do a bit where I was like, bro, look, I look like a watermelon today because I got a green hat and a reddish shirt. I decided not to. So let's just fold and look at all the movies we got. It's in fold and release date order. This folder upstairs needs to shut the fold up. He does not shut up. If you can hear that, it's probably not on the recording, but he's barking upstairs. If you don't know who I'm talking about my Fulton puppy dog. He's 6 months old. He's a mess. This is staying in the video. So first, we're going to start off with Iron Man. I think the coolest thing, and the reason why I like this movie, is because Tony's arrogance is shown as a flaw. Tony realizes that his weapons are in the wrong hands, and he doesn't become Iron Man just because it's cool and the suit looks cool. And he's pretty cool. You know, the arrogance is kind of justified. But he doesn't do it just because he thinks it's cool. He does it for the right reason. And that is to stop the wrong people getting his weapons and destroying millions of innocent people. And I think Tony gets better and better throughout each movie. He kind of messes up a lot, but you know, that shows the human in him, and I think that's the best part about the character Iron Man. We'll see more and more of this progression throughout the movies and throughout this video. But yeah, this movie's absolutely fantastic. It's a masterpiece. Obadiah Stane is a great villain. He's a good counterpart villain. Like a mirror villain, whatever you would call that. It looks the same, but it's slightly different, a little bit darker. And it's cool to watch someone close to Tony and kind of like betray him. So obviously, I have to put this movie an absolute masterpiece. Alright, now we gotta jump to the other side of the spectrum with the Incredible Hulk. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I haven't seen this movie in so long. I don't think I've rewatched it. I think I saw it the first time when I was like, I don't know, I really couldn't tell you, like 7 or something, maybe less than that. But also, I'm not gonna go pay for this movie. By the way, if you don't know, this movie isn't on Disney+, so I'm not gonna go to a different streaming service or whatever and go pay for this movie just for it to be bad. What I do remember from this movie is that it had forgettable villains with Thunderbolt Ross and the Abomination that's going to show up in Shang-Chi.
S-H-A-N-G, Shang.
That's what I said.
And Thunderbolt Ross has been showing up, so they've done better work with Thunderbolt Ross's character, and hopefully we do get to see him in the future. I do want to see them form a Thunderbolts team, and hopefully he will be a part of it with Val. But that's besides the point. This movie is dark-toned, not really like Marvel. It's not considered really, like, people don't view it the same as all the other MCU movies, so I don't think I can put it any higher than I have it. And last detail before we move on, it's a different actor, so it just feels weird. I like Mark Ruffalo a lot. I really hope he eventually gets his solo movie, which he deserves so much. I don't really know why they can't really use this character. I know it's licensing deals and all that, but it's just stupid. He will be appearing in She-Hulk, and hopefully we do see him a lot more in the future. Not sure though, but we'll just have to see. So now we have Iron Man 2. To be honest with you, I think this is the worst Marvel movie, but my opinion can always change, especially on all the ones in the bottom. I don't think they'll ever elevate to above that, but I do think in the order that I have them, I could switch them up a bit, but this is just bottom tier. That's all I really need to say. You do see some progression with Tony, but it's really weird. He's really irresponsible in this movie, and to be honest, I forget this a lot. Forgettable villains with Ivan, Whiplash, if you don't know, and Justin Hammer. I think Justin Hammer is really funny, and I hope we see him in Armor Wars. Kind of felt too, I don't know, it was iffy. I think if Justin Hammer worked with someone else, it would have been better. I just don't see Whiplash like as a good villain at all. He didn't feel complex. It just felt plain. It just felt like Marvel was just like, oh my gosh, Iron Man made a lot of money, let's make another one. But they didn't really think it out too much. Tony indirectly killed some of Ivan's family. I don't exactly remember who, but members of his family, and it's just that's it. That's it. And then he goes and he does stuff. The only cool thing I think I really like from this movie is it's not bad. I don't dislike any of the Marvel movies, but these just like compared to everything else, they're just not that good. But like if this is a movie you're just watching casually and you're not like a big Marvel fan, they're cool. They're right, but they just don't fit as well into the story as some of the other movies. And yes, we're gonna get our first messy category movie.
Great, right?
We're gonna go with Thor. Thor, I don't know. I feel like in the first two Thor movies, Loki is a more interesting and more heroic character, even though in the first one, you do see him like do some stupid stuff, but you also see Thor do a lot of stupid stuff, like go try to fucking fight what's his name, Laufey by himself, like, or well, not by himself, but with a couple friends, and just go fight him for no reason. It's just, he's just immature, just like his brother. But Odin, just because Loki wasn't his actual son, he didn't treat him as well as Thor. And that's not fair. This is how you know Odin is a terrible father. But also, this tier, it really just shows, like, how messy that Marvel was with their first few movies. There was two major amazing ones. Or, well, three, actually, in the first phase. But some of them, they just fold and drop the ball. But I really liked Thor as a character. In the first two, it just didn't really pan out well. Alright, next up we have Captain America, the First Avenger. We're going to give another tier, a movie. We're going to give Beautiful, because this movie is beautiful. The relationship between Steve and Bucky and Steve and Peggy are both fantastic. We get to see Bucky and Steve, like, mess around, and Steve is obviously small. I think he was, I don't exactly know how tall he was. He was really folding short. I think he was 5'3". I'm only 5'4", but you know, he was short. He was 96 pounds. So he couldn't fold and protect himself at first. So Bucky was his friend that protected him and just had fun with. And it's so, the dynamic is so good. And I like that we do get to see that throughout the MCU. But it was stripped from him for 70 plus years. And also, if you don't agree that Peggy was perfect for Steve and they were just meant to be, I think you're crazy. I think you're insane. Because they were, bro. I get mad when people are like, he's gonna go back in time to see a girl that he kissed once. No, dude. No, I don't think you get it, bro. And then we get to see just how pure and amazing Steve is before the serum. Not even after the serum. He's just a great guy after the serum because he's all big and strong or whatever. He's a great guy before. Because he just is. He's a bright man, but not a perfect soldier. That's why the serum didn't turn him into some monster or messed up person. Because the serum only makes you more of yourself. The action scenes were also great, and I really liked Red Skull. When you first watch it, you think he dies, but then he shows up on Vormir and Endgame and Infinity War. So that was really cool to see. I don't know if I actually noticed that at first when watching Infinity War and Endgame, but after you say it, you're like, wait. Pause. So he didn't die, and it makes sense because he grabs the Tesseract, also known as the Space Stone, so he gets teleported instead of dying. So it makes sense, and it was a good callback. So I really like this movie, and that is why it is in Beautiful tier. Next up, we have the end of Phase 1 with Avengers. And there's no other place that I will accept this movie other than absolute masterpiece. I'm going to put it over Iron Man, but they're both absolutely fantastic movies. This is just, I don't know, we've never, at this point, we've never seen a movie with that many superheroes and that many, like, crazy dynamics. I think the dynamics from each character with each other are really cool. Obviously, there's cooler dynamics between certain characters, like Tony and Cap and Thor and Hulk, but they all work together really well, and it's cool to watch them go from this ragtag team that doesn't want to work with each other. They're not continuing to work with each other because they have to. It's because they're starting to understand where they're coming from and who they are as people, and realizing that they're not so different from each other. And I haven't even gotten to Loki yet. He's full and funny. He's scary. You couldn't have asked for a perfect villain for this movie. It's just so cool to watch all the Avengers have their individual hate for them. Nat, you have her friend Clint got brainwashed from him. Obviously, Clint brainwashed. With Hulk, you have Loki trying to release him on the Avengers and on the rest of the helicarrier. Then we have Thor. You know, he's got to show him who's boss because, you know, he's his brother. And then you have Iron Man and Cap, and they're just like, you know what? You try to mess with our friends, we're going to mess back. And in this movie, we see 2 Infinity Stones in one movie and don't even realize it because they don't even bring it up. At first, when watching it as a kid, I really liked when Hulk smashed Loki back and forth. That was out of context. Don't fold in, don't clip it, chat. I think now my favorite scene is when Cap and Tony both talk bad about each other, but they both prove each other wrong. Tony says that everything special about Cap came out of a bottle. Obviously, we see in this movie, Cap just shows that he's a leader and he wants to do the right thing. And we also see more of that through the movies. Obviously, Endgame, when he lists Mjolnir, also known as Jonathan.
Jonathan?
If you don't get that reference, study up. I don't know. And then you have Cap saying, you wouldn't be the one to make the sacrifice play. But in this movie, Tony proves him wrong and was willing to launch the nuke into the portal and die and in space because his suit ran out of power. He ends up living, which good, because later on he does the snap and proves him wrong again. And it's just such a good movie. I love every second of it. When watching it, there's not a part where I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. I love every second of it, and that's why it has to be an absolute masterpiece. Heading into phase 2, we start with Iron Man 3. This is going to be going into the messy category because I didn't love it, but it will go above Thor. It'll go after it because I liked that Tony had to deal with his anxiety and PTSD from the Battle of New York, and showing that like he wasn't just like completely fine after it. He put a folding nuke into space, into outer space, and he's just a folding normal guy. It's good that we weren't like, oh, he's fine after Battle of New York, there's no consequences, nothing. I like that we did that. Also, I like the kid Harley. If you don't know, he's the kid from the movie that he meets, and he gives him a new garage at the end of the movie. But we only see him once after that, in Avengers Endgame at Tony's funeral. But nothing comes out of it. He doesn't speak or anything, so I don't know if we'll ever see him again. I'm hoping in Ironheart or any other series, but, you know, I wouldn't trust it. But this movie was just messy. You have the Mandarin. Oh, it's this Mandarin. He's full and scary. He was pretty scary, and they were like, you know what? He's an actor. He's not the actual Mandarin. But you know what? We're going to view the actual Mandarin. He's the Fire Aldrich Killian? I think that's how you say his name. But then you find out he's not even the real Mandarin. We'll see the real Mandarin in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Shang Shang.
But don't fold and do that. That's why are you gonna set up the Mandarin and then just say both of them are not the Mandarin? I think it's cool because the actor, I don't know who the actual actor was, but the actor in the movie that plays an actor, you know, it's complicated. I don't know his name. I actually don't know his name. But he's showing up in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It should be out. It's coming out September 3rd. I'm going to go watch that. I might do some coverage on my TikTok, echoes_, if you don't know. Go check that out. But yeah, it just felt messy. And there wasn't much exciting about it. It wasn't bad, though. It's not like I hate this, but it's they just wanted to pump out Folding Iron Man movies because the first one did so well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I like that we progress with Tony's like being a better person, or at least trying to. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. The other detail I don't like is that Tony blows up all suits and he's like, I'm gonna retire or whatever, and then he doesn't. Like, what? Don't set that up and then don't execute. you either execute or don't even bring it up, you know? But yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. I feel like if I watched it, I'd be like, oh, nice, whatever. But I'm not going to be like, I love this movie. I'm not going to tell people that don't watch the MCU or never watched a Marvel movie to go watch that one in particular. And next up in Phase 2. Phase 2, kind of weak. Kind of weak with some of their movies. But, you know, you got to have some bad movies. You're going to have some good movies, especially when you're first starting. Thor: The Dark World, I did not like at all. I liked it more than Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk, but I don't know. It was a weird dynamic. Too dark. The dark elves. I like how I say dark and then bring up dark elves. It feels more like a Loki story rather than a Thor. That's why I like Thor Ragnarok, is that it changes up completely what the Thor franchise was, and it's a great fold-in trilogy. It's a great trilogy, especially for Loki, and it's good for Thor, but it's just, I don't know, the first two, they're too dark. Yeah, and as I was saying, the Dark Elves are just not good. People don't even remember Malekith. They definitely don't remember his name. He's like, oh, it's that. If people do talk about Thor: Dark World, and they will only somewhat remember the villain. They'll be like, that, like, elf guy, you know? They're not going to be like, Malekith. I only know because I've watched it somewhat recently. It just feels like Loki's more of a main character, and it's more focused on how he's messed up and how he's progressing, even though he keeps dying and then coming back. Can you figure what we're doing, Loki? What are we doing? Can we either stay in the MCU or are we out? What are we doing, man? Tom Hiddleston, come on. But this movie wasn't terrible. It was bad. This movie was bad. Definitely not a peak of Marvel. But I liked it more than Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2. And this is... You're probably going to kill me on this.
Finish it.
Hot take time, baby. Yeah. It's good. It's good, but I don't know. I like Bucky more as a... he can click at any time type guy rather than a straight up villain. I like him way more in Civil War. I like how Zemo Fulton like messed him up and read those words. I forget what are some Fright Car 117 something longing or something. There's like a bunch of words that like gets Bucky to get brainwashed. Yeah, I just don't love it. And the twists are good. But it's just, I don't know, there's just something that I don't enjoy about it. It just doesn't feel, I think I like the more, like, complex movies. I don't know. I feel like either it's got to be really simple, but, like, really good message, or it's got to be more complex. I just don't know how to explain it to you. I just don't love it. I just don't love it. When I rewatched this somewhat, like, pretty recently, and I was just like, I would rather be watching other Marvel movies right now. And that's kind of how I gotta rank this. I can't be, like, comparing this to another movie franchise or another, like, just another movie. I have to rank it, how many more Marvel movies would I rather be watching right now? And that's where it sits. So I'm sorry if this is your favorite Marvel movie. It's your comfort movie. That's all you. I have a personal favorite movie, and it is an absolute masterpiece. Not because I think everyone is going to love it or everyone has to love it, because they don't. It's just because I personally enjoy the movie and I think it's the most underrated Marvel movie. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting, and that's where Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is sitting at nice tier. But we're going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's full and beautiful, bro. It's so good. Because each individual character is broken or flawed in some way. You have Gamora. She's a daughter? A daughter? What? Daughter of Thanos. So she's, like, messed the fold up in her mind that she would even stay with him. That's why she Fulton breaks off and goes on with this team. You have Peter Quill, lost his mom, doesn't know his dad. Yeah, he's got some severe issues. You have Groot, where he doesn't have the best communication skills, as you can tell. I am Groot. It's the only 3 words he says until he says, "We are Groot." What an amazing scene. It was just great. But then you have Rocket. He was made. He was like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think he's a robot, but he was an animal. Maybe he is an actual raccoon, and then he was made into something. I don't really know. We'll see that more backstory in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then we have Drax that lost his wife and his daughter to Ronan. So when you have all these flawed and stubborn and broken characters, it's really cool to get them to put aside their differences and save the Fulton universe, save the galaxy. But then at the end of this movie, you have the connection with Rocket and Drax, where Rocket just lost Groot, and Drax always, like, doesn't want to touch Rocket because he knows that Rocket won't like it and he'll, like, attack him or whatever. But then you see Drax, like, pet Rocket because he feels bad for him, and he's empathizing with him because he knows how that feels to lose someone. And that's why this Fulton movie has to be in beautiful tier. Also, the soundtrack, amazing. I'm so excited for the Fulton next Guardians of the Galaxy. Bet soundtrack's gonna be even Fulton better. I bet. I could bet you it's gonna be Fulton great. But yeah, it's just amazing. I love this movie, and it deserves beautiful tier. And next up, the movie I think feels the most messy out of all of them is Avengers Age of Ultron. Obviously, it's going to go on messy tier. It just feels like it jumps to too many places. And when it jumps, it just doesn't feel as clean. It just, it feels rough. The way it doesn't really, like, transition well. I think this movie did a good job of showing how important Clint actually is. And that he has a family that we don't even know about. We see Nick Fury alive and well over there. Actually, we don't know if he's a Skrull. He may not be. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be a Skrull. I don't think he's going to be confirmed as a Skrull when he's in Age of Ultron. I don't think they'll confirm that. I think they'll say, yeah, he is Nick Fury. He's not Talos. Talos? How do you pronounce that? I don't fucking know. We're going to say Talos. We're going to say Talos because it's just easier for me. But yeah, it just feels messy. I think the more of the reason is because this is, like, the first, like, team movie they want to push more for, like, the Infinity Saga. They want to focus on the Infinity Saga. We bring in Vision with the Mind Stone. It, like, seems like they want to go into, okay, we're going to be releasing a bunch of movies, and we're going to try to lead up to Infinity War and Endgame. Obviously, they didn't know about the exact, like, titles and stuff or whatever. But they knew about somewhere where they wanted to go, and this feels like the first movie they really, really wanted to do this, and it just didn't go well. I think another part of this they wanted to do, but just the licensing, I cannot pronounce anything for my life. Licensing deals? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. With the twins, they can't call them mutants, and they can't, like, go into that because they're just the licensing deals. They can't do it. They can't call her Scarlet Witch. They can't call them mutants. They're enhanced beings. It just doesn't work. And I hated that. But now we're probably getting the folding. We are. I don't know why I'm saying probably. We are getting the X-Men in the MCU. Hopefully we see some soon. We get the confirmation that in Black Widow, the guy that Red Guardian arm wrestles is Big Bear. He calls him Big Bear right there, but he's a mutant in the comics. Yeah, he's Big Bear. He turns into a Big Bear. Pretty cool. So they actually confirmed that it's him, but I don't know, like, what that means, if he's gonna come back for another Marvel movie. I don't know. But I thought that was pretty cool. If you didn't know that, yeah, I just know that because I watch certain YouTube channels. I'm going to shout them out because, you know what? Fold it. The Cosmic Wonder and Everything Always is where I hear the fold in, all the, like, secret news that you don't really, like, full on here. If you don't want, like, spoilers for stuff, don't watch it. But it does give me some of my Marvel news that I wouldn't have known previously if I didn't watch them. So thank you for that. And you're welcome for the free promotion on my small YouTube channel. You're welcome. But yeah, that's how I feel on this movie. It just feels messy. Couldn't do what they wanted to do with the twins. But overall, not bad. I liked Ultron. I think I would have I don't know how I feel exactly, but I kind of would have liked him as a more than one movie villain, you know? So if he does show up somehow in the future, maybe in White Vision, maybe in something else, another way, another shape or form, I would be down. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they brought him back. It's weird. When I hear Ultron, I just hear Robert California, and that's, if I'm not getting that name right, from The Office, the guy from The Office. That's what I hear, and I'm just like, bro, it's weird, but he does it so well, and he's very creepy. But I liked him. I could move it up to nice, but I'm not going to, because it does feel messy. And on that note, we're gonna move on to Ant-Man. And with Ant-Man, it's really good. They perfectly cast Paul Rudd for this film. He does a really good job with the balance of comedy and coolness with this character. I really like this movie. I think if I was a father with a daughter or vice versa, I would put this movie higher. I would have more of a connection with him. But he's a funny guy. I like his buddy. Why can't I think of his name? Oh my gosh, the one that explains things, like, really fast, but, like, he starts, like, way back in the story. Why can't I think of his name? Alright, it's Luis. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. I can't think right now. I'm not gonna say it's late. It's 9:40, bro. But I'm just dumb. I don't want to talk about it. It's a good Fulton movie. It's funny as fault. And it feels like the first, like, movie where they fully change the genre, I said genre, not genre. It's genre, right? I also love the dynamic with Cassie and Ant-Man and Hank and Hope. It just works so well. The only thing is the film wasn't great. I did like him a little bit, but he just wasn't the best Marvel villain. But I felt like it was less about the villain. And to start off Phase 3, we have Civil War. What a fucking good movie, bro. So when I first, before rewatching it, because this would have been so bad if I didn't rewatch it, I would have had it, like, here or something. Not here, I don't think. Maybe. I might have had it there, to be honest. Or here. That would have been bad. Or somewhere in here. That would have been Fulton bad, because it's good. The only problem I have with this movie is how stupid the Sokovia Accords were. What the... Bro, okay, I'm gonna put it there so I don't have to keep my hand on my mouse. It's so dumb. The first, 40 minutes, I get so mad at Tony. Oh my gosh, it's such a... If you're Team Iron Man, not because you just like the Iron Man characters, because when I first watched it, I was like, oh, Team Iron Man, before I even watched it, because I was like, these are folding sick characters. You have Spider-Man, you have Iron Man, you have Vision, they're cool. Black Panther, but yeah, you Fulton have all that, but the Sokovia Accords are so stupid. I would understand if the government, said that, but then the superheroes, all of them, should just be like, no, you're not going to keep me in a cage until you say, oh yeah, you can go fight them. Because by the time the Avengers would go, the government would let the Avengers go fight the threat, it would already be too late most of the time. So why the fuck would you want to sign it? Tony signs it because this woman gives him a scare. Her son died because the Avengers dropped Sokovia, or they blew it up. Would you rather 1,000 casualties or folding billions? And that's just saying they only conquer Earth and that's it. Who says they don't want to fight and they want more? Who says that villain doesn't want to conquer the whole universe? You're just gonna let them? What? I just don't understand what Tony was thinking. I get he's messed up and he doesn't want to make any more mistakes, but this is one of the biggest ones he's ever made. If you still think the Sokovia Accords make sense, you want to talk about Avengers Infinity War and Endgame? Are we serious? And don't be like, oh, they would have been all together. Yeah, they would have been all together, but how long do you think the government would have had to try to deal with Thanos and his goons? How long do you think they would have waited to release the Avengers? See, you don't fucking know. Because it's stupid. You don't know how flawed this folding government is. I would not folding let this happen in any folding universe. In any scenario, don't sign the Sokovia Accords. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's why I put it there, because I love the dynamics of the characters. I love the conflict. I like Baron Zemo. I like Bucky more in this movie. And they're so good. It's so good. We first see Spider-Man, that folding trailer that came out. I think it was during the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure. I can't really remember. It was a while ago. But it was just so, like, Spider-Man, you know? It was so exciting because you have a Spider-Man, and then we reboot it, and we're going to reboot again. We're just hoping that it's going to be good. I think Marvel's doing a fantastic job with this. And, okay, all I'm going to say, I don't want to bring it up too much in this video, but I'm gonna. Let's not sell this movie, okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. Don't sell this movie, okay? I'm going to even say we don't need Tobey and Andrew. We just need it to be a multiverse movie, and it's got to be good, okay? Don't sell this movie. Sony, Marvel, this could be one of the biggest movies you've ever released. Don't mess it up. Alright, let's get back to the video with one of my favorite Marvel movies. Correction, my favorite Marvel movie, personally. Dude, you already fucking know. It's Doctor Strange. I make the fucking Strange joke. I'm not gonna do it right now. I might. It's strange. At least put Doctor in front of it. You know. It's so fucking good. It's funny. And you wouldn't fucking expect that from this movie. You'd think, oh my gosh, it's serious. Which it is. It deals with magic and science and stuff. But it's so funny. It's so funny. His cloak is funny. Wong's funny. Strange is funny. The folding password scene, hilarious.
What's this, my mantra?
It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.
Doctor Strange is my favorite character because he's so fucking cool. I love the magic of Marvel. It's just, I don't know what exactly about it I love, but there's so many possibilities you get with Doctor Strange, and that's why I love him so much, and I'm so glad he's going to be showing up in so many movies. His own next movie, Multiverse of Madness, is going to be fantastic. He's showing up in Spider-Man, also folding great. Love Spider-Man, love Doctor Strange. The villains, the one guy, can't remember his name. It's a little complex. I do remember that, so I don't really remember. I think it starts with a K. But you got Dormammu.
Dormammu is so fat.
I think the end scene with the time loop is sick. But I want to talk about Strange's character development. It feels like Tony's, and that's why I think I love it so much. But it's just like he goes a little bit through Tony's character development in one movie. He sees how flawed he is. He fucking yells at his girlfriend. Well, not girlfriend, but his friend that's a girl that he used to date. He yells at her, and even when he's down and he's depressed and he's trying to put his life back together and his hands back together, he's messed up, and she still comes and tries to help him, but he just yells at her. So she runs off. Strange then realizes, I'm a terrible person. And he, like, laughs off all the magic and all this, which most rational people would. But then he's like, oh, shoot, the Ancient One isn't lying. And then he sees the Ancient One, even someone he looks up to now, he sees that she's even flawed. And she deals with dark magic. But he understands why she's doing it. And he's just trying to be a better person. And I want to go back to the end scene. Just the time loop. I love the cockiness, but also the, like, epicness of the ending. I don't know. I love it so much. I think they could have done more with Dormammu, but I really like the time loop ending where they bring it up earlier. The one guy, Mordo, brings it up, and he's like, don't fold and mess with it. Don't do it. But then he does it anyways because he knows better. Mordo's just saying, don't do it because it's against their code or whatever, or it's bad. But he folding knows what he's doing, and it works. And I don't know. It's just a cool scene to watch him die over and over and over again, and he still gets up, and Fulton says, you know what? I'm here to bargain. You know, it's, like, really cool, and, you know, I like it.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Yeah.
And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I was gonna do this in one part, but it was gonna be like an hour-long video, and I wanted to give you a video because it's been like 5-6 days since I posted. It's not like the video will be done right now and I have everything done, because I don't. I do still gotta edit the other part of this, but I do want to say I am going to see Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings the 2nd for IMAX, so I would have to wait to post it anyways because I have to finish editing this and then I have to go see the movie and then I have to edit the part of me talking about it. I'm gonna obviously put a spoiler warning, but if you don't see it the same day I do, I'm gonna say spoiler warning for that part. But yeah, that's in the next part, so you don't have to worry about it in here. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 2. It should be out either the 3rd or the 4th is my guess. It might be later, but I'm hoping to get it out the 3rd or the 4th. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!